Welcome to the May 2008 edition of Outlook Video, your nationally recognized award-winning show for gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender communities. I'm Roberta Gonzalez-Gregg.
And I'm Tom Smith. Aaron Bruno starts off this month's show with his interview of Seth Hodge, a residential life coordinator for University Housing Services at San Jose State University. In his role of advising students about their personal choices in relation to campus policies, he knew that San Jose State University does not discriminate on the basis of sexual orientation and that the policy applies to all San Jose State student, faculty, and staff programs as well as activities.
Seth recognized the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's lifetime blood donor ban affecting gay men violates that non-discrimination policy. He filed a formal discrimination grievance with the Office for Equity and Diversity, prompting the university's president, Don Cassing, to suspend all blood drives at San Jose State University.
Join Aaron later in our show to hear how this simple letter developed into a much wider discussion.
Later on Betty Sullivan's Health Matters segment, Betty gets tested for an exam that she's been avoiding for a long time. Find out more by staying tuned for the rest of the half hour.
Kim Lawson will bring us some scenes from the 2008 International Lion Monarchy of San Francisco coronation held on February 23rd.
Aaron will bring us his coverage of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence Easter celebration from Dolores Park in San Francisco. And later in the program, the office of the San Francisco Chronicle gets picketed by this local grassroots organization for the paper's inaccurate and sensationalistic reporting of another epidemic spread allegedly by the gay community.
Stay tuned for Raymond Donald Hong's follow-up report on the new strain of MRSA and unresolving staph infection.
Let's get started with Aaron's interview with Seth Hodge.
Hello, Outlook Video audience. Ladies and gentlemen, we have today a very special guest, Mr. Seth Hodge. He has been creating quite a controversy at San Jose State University. I'm a senior student there, and he is actually an employee. Welcome to Outlook Video.
Thank you.
So, why don't we bring our audience up to date on what this controversy is about?
Okay. I would say the controversy is pretty much about, in January, San Jose State became the first university in the country to officially suspend blood drives on campus based on the discriminatory policies of the FDA.
You actually had a part to do in this, didn't you?
I did.
You wrote a letter, and it's been about a year now, hasn't it?
It has.
So when did you write this letter, and what made you notice that something had to be changed?
Last April, I was sitting in a staff meeting with a bunch of my colleagues. I work within the university, and my colleagues and I all work in different aspects, working with students to help create programming, educational programming on campus, and to work with creating kind of opportunities for students to help with their development. One of my colleagues came forward and said that within his area they were going to be sponsoring a blood drive. And when I came to San Jose State about 3 years ago, one of the things that really caught my attention was our non-discrimination policy. It was one of the big reasons I came to the university in the first place.
Yes, so this is a university that does not discriminate against sexual preference, correct?
Absolutely.
So what is it about the blood drives that made you complain?
Well, the unique thing about the discrimination policy is that in addition to hiring practices, our discrimination policy also says that we won't discriminate for any programs or activities. As an activity on our campus, the blood drive was violating that because the FDA policy reads that any male who's had sexual relations with another male since 1977 is ineligible to give blood.
So 77, wow, now it's 2008, and it's time, it looks like, for a correction to this rule, correct?
Absolutely.
So you made a complaint, and it's been about a year, and our president has decided to support your cause.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about that?
It's great. I think that basically what happened is once the letter made it that far, made it up to the president, he did the right thing in my mind. And it has been a year. A lot of people who have found that out have been like, why did it take so long? But in truth, what happened is over that year, the president put together a council of people who went out and did a lot of research and really did their homework to know that we were moving forward in a smart direction.
So he did the research, noticed that this is actually something on the people's mind, and How many students does San Jose State have?
San Jose State has 32,000 students.
And we're doing a rough estimate here, but 10% are homosexual.
Roughly 10% would identify as lesbian, gay, or bisexual, according to Kinsey studies, yes.
Okay, and then so we're looking at approximately half of that would be affected by this blood drive.
Absolutely.
So we have 5% of the men,
32,000.
yes, that that are going to be able to participate in blood drives soon when a decision is made. So things are still happening, correct?
Things are absolutely still happening. The work is continuing. It's, we've made our decision to suspend blood drives until such a time that the FDA updates its policies to match the science that's out there, rather than the science from 1982 when they put the policy in place. But there's still a long way to go. We have to get the FDA to really open their eyes to that, and it's a little slow coming.
What's been the response to this letter that you sent out? Has it been good? Has it been bad? Give us the truth, really. What's been...
It's been varied. It's
Really?
been very varied. We have had everything from the letters that I've gotten from students, from staff, from faculty, both to the president's office, who's gotten the most of the letters, obviously.
I bet, yeah.
But to my email directly as well, thanking us for the work we've done, for
Really?
helping, including a number of people from other universities around the country. In addition, we're also having quite a bit of feedback from people who are citing the older science, the science from 1982, prior to the time when blood was scanned and really checked for different communicable diseases. And people are citing this old science and saying that it's not safe and that we're endangering the population.
So it's time to start using the technology of today to scan the blood and use and update the rules, is what it sounds like.
Well, the technology is being used.
Okay.
The blood is every bit of blood that comes through goes through a testing process, and it is tested for HIV as well as a number of other diseases, and the blood is significantly safer. This started in 1984, 2 years after this suspension, 2 years after the ban began.
We unfortunately have to wrap this up. So where is this going right now for San Jose State?
That depends on the government, to be honest with you. I think that ideally, San Jose State will be at a place within a year that we'll be able to have blood drives on campus again. Hopefully that will be because the FDA has decided to change their policies and update it.
You're being compared to Rosa Parks, the lady who didn't move her seat and started the civil rights movement. So how does that feel?
Flattering. Rosa Parks was an amazing woman. Unbelievable. And I could never compare myself to her. I don't think that...
Well, let me tell you one thing. We need more people like you in our community to stand up for our rights. And so, Mr. Seth Hodge, you'd like to actually give out your email for people to communicate with you?
If people have any questions about how things have happened or what is going on and want to know more about the changes that are happening on the campus and hopefully in the country and in the government, I'd be more than happy to discuss this with people. And
thank you so much for coming on to Outlook, and I support you and I wish you the best.
Thank you very much.